Hey, how are you? So, welcome back to this part 3 of the introduction to GraphQL. Welcome back to the Global Hack Week, and good morning or good night. It depends where are you. For me, it's good morning. Also, this is the last session before the closing ceremony, so I'm very, very excited to be sharing this time with you, attendees, amazing hackers, amazing audience. Before I forgot, let me share with you the checking link. So here you have it. Great. And the repo of all the things we are going to do during this session. It's the same as the previous because it is a mono repo containing the folder for the introduction with the slides, the folder for the backend, the folder for the frontend, and so on and so on, right? Um, you know, the idea of these 3 sessions were to make an introduction, a backend, and a frontend. We had to take a little more time from the session two, what that was meant to be fully for creating the backend, because I had some issues with my node installation on the first part. I solved them. We returned yesterday for finishing the introduction, and then we take a time to create the backend. We have almost already, but we still need to make some changes, configurations, connect to our database and stuff. So let's finalize that, and then we will hurry to finish and creating the front end for that, right? Um, so let's do that. Let me start sharing my screen. Amazing. So here we are. This is Mongo. I'm taking the same database that we used in the REST workshop at the beginning of the opening. Sorry, at the beginning of the Global Hack Week. Remember, I tried to do this exercise where we create an application with REST and one with GraphQL that, well, they barely do the same. So you can see the difference and how one it's like an improvement of the other. Of course, GraphQL is the improvement of the rest. Um, and we need to connect this database, right? So let's do these changes. First, we were here, we were checking the annotations and things. So let's make the corrections to the schema, um, because we have a title, a description, and instead of status, the description it's the one that's required. Well, no, yeah, required. True. The status it's not that status. It's completed. Type it's boolean, and this is not required. Also, the interface doesn't look like this. Should look like this. Completed boolean and the optional. Perfect. So we upgraded the schema. Let's take a look to the resolvers to see what we need to change in the task. The finds that are okay. The task description. This should take the 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 completed. Huh. And again, we need to change this to be completed in a boolean. We add new task and we save it. When we update it, we take the ID, the title, the description, and the completed. The ID, in this case, all they are optional except that this should be boolean. And yeah, we have that. Perfect. Now let's just correct the connection. For that, Mongo it's amazing because it gives us already the instructions for connecting to these drivers, right? So I see a comment for Fear EU44 says, "Hello everyone, hello, great to see you." And don't be shy. Close your message here in the comment section, and I can read it. Also, if you have any question, if you want me to make, for example, the screen bigger, I can do so. So, hey, just drop your message here. Connect clusters. We have this cluster 0. Let's check the connect one. For connecting, we will access the driver. Let me just make sure that we have the Mongoose 8. Yeah, so it's 7 or later. We already installed Mongoose, and the connection looks like this. So um, I am going to take back to DB, import Mongoose. Yeah, we have Mongoose. We have the URI, async function. It's connect DB, try, promise, void, try, await, Mongoose connect, and the options. We need to copy these options and substitute them here. Let's force this as how this should be. Perfect. And what else we're missing? The console log connected. Once it's connected, and instead of the catch, let's try finally. And that's it, right? So this is done. Now we have our index running the connection to database. We create the Apollo server. Let's check again in this. Okay, we have the dataset, define resolvers, create an instance of Apollo server, type defs and resolvers. That's perfect. Then we pass the URL and await for standalone server. Okay, we have the URL. Listen for standalone server on the port. Process dot amp dot port or port. Well, no, we can leave it on the 400. Yeah, don't worry. Um, and server ready at the URL. Start the server. Uh-huh. Okay, I think we are ready to run our server now. So let's just take a look to the package.json configuration. Oh yeah, I'm missing one very important thing. It's that we didn't add the URI. So this is the URI for me. Also, I'm going to substitute this with admin and admin. Very educational. And now, yeah, the scripts. This is going to be npm start. Okay, we have an error. Give me a second. I need to sneeze. I'm sorry, I'm back. Um, yeah, let's inspect the error. Internal models, ES resolved, throw error, error cannot find model, uh, backend dist config db. Backend dist config db. Okay, I think that's because we're not adding that in the TS config, but let's quickly ask Copilot about that. Yeah, this indicates that the output is looking for the DB model in this. Yeah, that's what we were thinking. Ensure properly that we all have the TS files in directory. Adjust the config with their update the root years to include the correct source. I'll update the config. Sure, do it. Okay, I approve those changes. Let me remove the comments because I don't like the comments. Let's start npm again. Okay, same error. Oh, because this is taking yes as one. I inspect. Okay, okay. Well, no, I mean, it should be doing the EIS. That's the main idea of compiling. But here I see in the disk, we have the config and the DB. Uh, sorry. Um, 1 second again. Oh yeah, I'm starting to have allergies. I don't know, out of the nowhere, and it's just so annoying. Sorry. Um, hey, Green Eye, 360K creation. That's great to have you around. So we were checking that the output in index could not take this config, and we don't know why because we have the config file and it has the DB one. So inside the dist, there is the config DB. Um, that's so weird. So let's try to check what this it's intending to do in the package JSON. Run and compile and note dist index.js. Yeah. So it compiles and it runs the index file. If we open the index file, this should be working since we have all it needs. Model resolver, new error not found. Cannot find a model. Yeah, because that's not a model. Export default, connect DB. It should work. I'll try to do that manually. Yeah, the same. Um, Still, I'm facing that issue despite I take a look and in the gist it looks like it is the DB file inside config, and I'm going to add the context of the full folder. Hi, at MLH. I'm new to this. Do we need to do as part of MLH? I could figure it out on my own. Any help? Do I need to submit some projects? Do we get some tasks, or how does this works? Um, well, first of all, welcome. We in the mailing hacking try to do this type of activities that we call the global hack week. Nowadays this is once a month. We used to do them like more gradually, maybe once every 2 or 3 months, but now we have them once a month, and I hope that still that way, um, because we have the chance to share with you about specific topics every month. In this month, we are in the API week. If I remember well, past month was about cloud, and the next one will be about open source. So in May, you can already check the agenda in GHW.lh.io. Actually, let me write a link for you. .io. And here you will find the the agenda and the challenges that you were mentioning, that the ones you can submit to some swag to win points, and well, that's the main idea of it. Remember, you're not doing this for the prizes itself. That's a great thing to have in mind, like, for encouraging you, but the idea is for you to create and to learn, of course, I would say. And that's how it works. So yes, you can submit some projects that are challenges that you can find in the page. You can just attend and watch the streams. We recommend to check in every time you watch one of these, because now you have the opportunity like to get more of these community points. Um, what else? It's important to mention. We have Discord, so it's very important for you to be in the Discord channel so you can get notice of these kind of events. But also from others, we have internal hackathons running in the Discord sometimes. I'm not that. How to say that. I'm not sure at the moment if we do them with, like, in a specific period. We used to do them more oftenly, but yeah, I joined the Discord server. That's amazing. So there you can chat with the amazing community we have. You can be informed about the future events, not only the Global Hack Weeks, but the league events, about the hackathons and stuff. So That's how this works generally. Um, if you have any question or anything specific you want to comment, that's great. Just drop it in the comments, and I will try to answer that. So let's take a look to what's happening. The issues might be related to how the BTS is being compiled on import. Let's address this systematically. Incorrect import path. The compiled index might not be resolving the DB file correctly due to relative path issues. Compilation issue. The DB might not be compiled properly into this field, or the file extension mismatch. The compiled file might not have the correct ES extension in the disk directory. Yes, it have all of those. Verify the compilation. Ensure that dbts it's being compiled into dist. Yes. Config. Yes. DBAS. Yes. Adjust import point. Use the relative path that matches the compiled structure. Yes. It's where it is. It's inside the config, and then it's inside DB. So check tsconfig JSON and ensure alldir and rootdir are correctly set. So we have our rootdir and alldir. Uh, yeah, all of these, all of these are like that. I will do one thing that's just ensuring. I'll move these to the back. If type devs it has the same error, so I'm going to start worrying. Yeah, cannot find model type devs import in here. Okay, I tried even moving the order to see if it was a matter of DB file. It looks like the index is the one that cannot perform the imports well. So if the issues persist while the index file not resolved the import correctly, it might be due to the bats that are being resolved after completion. Let's address these, verify import parts, ensure all import in index use correct relative paths. Yeah, they do. Yeah, we do. Wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is so. Um, I don't have a server file anymore. Do it. You just did exactly the same, so this is going to be an undo. Nothing changing. Okay, you're not working anymore, Copilot. We hit a dead end there. So I'm going to take a look to the recommendations here. Uh, 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 we are talking about the installations. Okay, maybe I think it's because we are using this as a model. Okay, make clean. I'll try to do this clean. So the compiled index file imports of the imports are failing. Is this because the module we set on the package config? Yeah, I was wondering that was the issue. Yes, the issue is due to the model settings you in your TS config being set to ESNext. When TypeScript compiles the code, it uses EX modeling extent, which might not be compatible with not results models unless you use this extension in your inputs. To fix this, update the imports in the compiled index file to include the ES extension. Adjust the TS config to use common ES, but the recommended thing was here to use ES next, right? So I don't think that's the solution. Yeah. Oh my God, Copilot, you're not helping at all. No, no, I don't want anything from you. No, rather tell me how to write a TS file in next. Yes, next. To be a module. To write a TS file in EXNet's model format, you need to ensure the following. Use import and export statements instead of required. Okay, yeah, I have them. Export, yeah. File extensioning when uses EXNet as model type, notes require explicit file extension in the compile, for example. Okay. Mhm. Model resolution. Yeah, it's Node. Okay, let's take a look here if we add the dot ts. What does they say? An import can only end with a T extension when allowed importing T extension is enabled. Okay, so this is not, but let's see if that's what Copilot was telling us. If I say node of this, no, this still the problem. Cannot find a model task. Oh yeah, no, then probably it's correct because in the schema resolvers need task.js. And now it works. Okay, so let's make a question. Is there a flag or something in DTS config to make sure the imports include the .js extension? No, there isn't a specific flag in TS to automatically add. Uh, However, you can handle these following ways: manually add, update your blah blah blah. Wow, use a post compilation script, use TypeScript flogging. That's a shame. Well, I'm going to close them all. I'm going to say somehow it works, and in the schema, no, sorry, it was in the resolvers.js. Here, I think. Oh, great. We didn't change the status here, so this is complete, and this is Boolean. Yeah, it was complete or completed? Complete that. Yeah, I will make sure of that. Okay, we can close this. This is done. And rows collection. Come on, come on, load. Yeah, the tasks has completed. Yeah, completed. Description string status completed. Boolean. Boolean. Deleted. Okay. So the mutations we're defining are the ones in the resolvers. Yeah, they are. So now let's npm start again. Okay, let's check to the local host. Fortunately, MongoDB is connected. So if we open this, we shall see the GraphQL being served. Yes, perfect. Well, now clarification. I think this is not GraphQL, but it's the sandbox from Apollo. But hey, we are running or everything here, right? So we have our queries, get task or get tasks. Probably we need also the mutations so we can create a task. First, let's create a task. Um, for these, I'm going to add everything. That's perfect. Mutation, add a task, the title, the description, the completed, the create task. It's going to be, well, first the get all tasks. We're going to pass the query for that. And we are going to pass all information, title, and that's it. We are going to run the get all tasks. Errors. Client must be connected before running operations. Oh, data get tasks new. Let's see here. We are connected to Mongo, so that's not the case. Uh, Errors message client must be connected before running operations. Let's take a look. More internal server error. Mongo not connect error. Client must be connected before running operations. So this is connected, right? Oh, let's do another thing here on Mongo, which is on the connect instructions. We can do a ping. So let's try that. Ping your deployment. You're successfully connected to Mongo. So let's close this and start it again. Okay, successfully connected to Mongo. Mongo connected. So um, no problem. Should be around that. But still, we're facing this error. Uh, 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 at model query find at find cursor to array. Hmm. Okay, let's return to how this is being done. In the index, we connect to the database. Then we define our server. We call for the URL. Yeah, we're calling the URI. Um, serve it's ready. What else we're missing? we passed the type definitions, we passed the resolvers, we have that running also. Okay, I want to make sure about one thing. I'm going to add another one that's get mock task. And I'm going to return just mock task. This is a mock task completed. Uh, for the database connection, this should be done already. So I don't know. I'm not sure if we're disconnecting here. So I'm just going to comment this at the moment. Um, this shouldn't. I mean, like it should not be like that. And the get mock tasks return a task. So I'll also in the schema have definition already have the mock task. The resolver already have the mock task. Yeah, that's it. So let's start it again and refresh here. I want to get the mock task. Yeah, and I want them all. Title, completed, and description. So let's run the mock task. Okay, this works. So at least now I know the GraphQL is not the problem. So the other thing that should done is get all tasks. Okay, this worked. So I'm guessing that the problem was then that we were in for a reason that finally were triggered, and then connection was disconnected. So I'm deleting completely that. I'm catching better the error, and that will be it. Um, Also, I think I will leave the mock task. Why not? Yeah, that's not a problem. And I'm going to start it again. And then we can make mutations so we can create the task indeed, right? So again, let's try to get all tasks. We have that. Let's add a mutation. I think what was that? Expected name not found. Um, I am not sure about if I should substitute it here or here. but I think the title it's test this also on Postman. So what should be this then? Task the title? Yeah. Description completed. Well, actually, I'm not passing the completed. I want to do another test. That's the query of task. Get task title, description, and completed. And here I'm also adding the ID. So if I get all the task and copy this, I put it here. In the what's happening if I run this get task variable of that we know, but where I store the variables, then I can simply delete this, right? Like I'm not passing anything, and this will work. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I was getting confused about this, but for the moment, I am not going to use this. I'm just going to set directly the title here. What's it? Test on Postman. The description will be in order to look many options, and the completed. I'm not including one. Find create task argument completed. It's required, but it was not provided. It should not be required. Oh, then I need to remove this here, right? I'm sorry. Let's start that again. And it should not be required. I forgot to move those ones there. So this error needs to disappear. Okay, perfect. It disappeared. And I'm going to add this task. So when we get all task again, this should be there. Cannot return not knowable from task did completed. So I'm thinking one thing happened. That's in the browse collection. Yeah, task. Okay, this worked. Finish description, but then we didn't add a completed. So we need to modify our mutation or resolver here because if we do not receive the completed, this is a great task, right? Yeah. So here, update the mutations to include metadata as created at and updated at. Also, when creating, if no completed value is set, default is false. And I'm considering this is not about here. This was here. Sorry, default false. Also in the schema, we should mention the update to include metadata such upgrade app and data. This one's here. Sorry, timestamps true. Accept. And again, let's start that. Let's refresh that. We should see the changes here. Let me. Well, it's a great opportunity to test the delete one. So Apollo server rotation delete task delete task, and the ID we wish to delete is this one. So we're not receiving any parameter here, but we are adding the one here, and that's it. That's the only thing we need. So we are going to delete that task. Delete it true. Perfect. So test on postman version 2, just to have an extension here. And if we add this task, it looks great. If we get all the tasks, now this should work. That's perfect. So we have the completed false by default. And if we inspect the metadata here on the cluster, it should have one for, yeah, it should have the created ad and updated ad queries. So let's inspect the updated ad, right? Um, so did we? No, sorry, it was here. This one here. So let's mutate mutation update task update task. The string we want it's this one. So we're looking for the ID. This is the ID, and we want to say completed true. Oh no. Oh, look, variables are here. Ha ha ha. Uh, okay, makes sense more. Um, let's try then again. Update ask. Update task. Oh, great. I'll delete the rest of the variables. Property update task ID is not allowed. Why? Well, um, and let's take a look to the resolver to refresh what we were expecting. Um, yeah, so here we received the title and the description and the completed fully, and here we add the completed. That's the only thing we want to change, and we set true. So if we run this update task, now completed is true. If we got to take the task ID here, I will say loaded all tasks. One's completed, the other one's not completed. So the test improvement version 2 is completed. Uh, and if we take a look here, we'll see the difference between the created and the updated information. Come on, there's not many documents, so I don't know why you're taking so much. Perfect. So it was created at a specific time and it was updated at another time. The complete now it's true. So with that, the only thing we're missing to truly complete our task is actually do that. So let's open Postman. If we remembered, in Postman we used to have collections. We created one for create a task, for list all task, for get a specific task, for updating task, and deleting a task, and a health. That's another thing. Um, but all of them in HTTP RESTful responses. So let's do the same, but in GraphQL. This is going to be GraphQL. The URL it's localhost um, 400. Here we are going to first create a task. You are going to enter the title. That's hey, let's just finish with a front. The description it's to display visually the visually the other. Um, that's great. So let's query that. We have all what we need. Actually, I think we added with double things like this. So hey, let's just save that query into new collection. GraphQL records cannot be saved to collections with HTTP request. Oh, okay. Oh, what a shame. Let's call this new collection GraphQL tasks. So we have this one here, and let's call that create task. That's another one that's the same localhost. This one is going to be list all tasks, and just like that, simple, perfect. We have all of them. Yeah, we added with an extra pair of these, so we're going to update that in a second. Um, this is going to be called um, list all tasks, the GraphQL task. We're going to save that. Another one, list a task or get a task. The ID it's going to be the one that this one responded. This this is the ID value. So if we query, it's perfect. Let's save that in this, and this is going to be list a task saved. What else? Yeah, the updates. So one more. So as we see, we get direct information of all the queries and mutations that we have existed on our endpoint, and that's just great, right? Because here we just need to say, hey, yeah, I want to update one now. And we are going to enter the previous value of the ID. We are going to change the title to just, hey, let's just finish with the front. And the description to display visual data, but erasing the this double comma or double thing we enter. Um, and that's it. Let's just make the query, and we have that updated. Great. And finally, just delete, command save. This is going to be update a task inside the GraphQL tasks. Save them. Missing one. That's the delete. Deleted task. And from the list, I probably think it's enough of the rest one. So let's delete it. This deleted task will have the value of this. And it was deleted. So we can save this as delete a task. So we can save that. Finally, let's list to make sure it was deleted, and then we have just two. So that's perfect, and that's how easy we get the collection on Postman using GraphQL. It depends on you. So if you're like just how to say this. If you feel good using the Apollo sandbox, or if, for example, we have this directly because we make this with Apollo server, but let's say you just directly want Next.js server, sorry, no, Express. See, Express GS server. So you won't have this directly up out of the box. You probably need to configure GraphQL. Uh, so it will depend if you want to test it on a sandbox like this to have the documentations, the schema, the checks, the variables, and stuff, or you want another approach, which is the Postman. I like Postman more, to be honest. Having the environments. Well, I have to admit, I like GraphQL more. If you did this right, that would be the best. Um, but it depends on your preferences, your growth, your workflows, and stuff. So uh, the great thing that has here Postman, it's that you can combine them in with the many other. For example, if you want to do also MQTT, GRCP socket, or your application, your company, or etc. project you're working on has more protocols, well, you have them all in Postman. If you're focusing directly on GraphQL, I think at the sandbox environment like this one from Apollo server, the GraphQL one that we saw, for example, for the continents, was they're this great. So again, it's up to you. And now let's just finish this saying like its status, what we have, its package JSON, slides PDF, source, and the TS config. So we are going to add that, and we are going to finalize with the front end really quick. It's the same as we did yesterday, so I think we can. I think we can do that faster, right? Git add everything. Git commit. In this case, we're going to say fit backend, finish the backend for test app. And I'm going to say, oh, I'm missing one thing. That's, oh yeah, of course. Uh, Git push origin main. Let's cd and cd to front end, of course. And here git status tells me these modifying slides. That's perfect. Now let's close all the things we had before. Backend it's ready. So front end, we need to work on you. I'm going to create the slides for this real quick. I already make corrections, so this should be enough. And the PDF. Copy pad. Oh no, I messed. Pad. So session 3, frontend with GraphQL, we are going to use, in this case, I change it. So we're not going to use React. Sorry. Well, apologies for that. We're going to use Angular. I think I feel more confident right now with Angular, and I want to do this really quick. Um, so this is like a really quick example of how this works, and that will be just it. An alternative, it's going to use just vanilla yes, like using fetch to this GraphQL. You just pass the queries as if they were like JSON and strings. So don't you worry. And the conclusion, we can check this in a second, but let's go over there. Upload server, we can close that. This was for the session 2, so we can close this also. And let's start with this. We are going to use um, ng new task app with GraphQL. Yeah, what it says. No, I don't want that. Perfect. So we are going to have a lot of things here. I'm going to move them. Well, yeah, it's still installing packages, so I'm going to keep that a second before I continue. And let's take a break just to drink some water. Stay hydrated. Hey, so what do you think? Do you do you feel like you enjoyed Global Hack Week? Okay, we have that. So all of this is going to be moved to front end. Task app it's empty. Delete that. Oh, I'm sorry. It's still installing. So I probably messed up right now. I thought it was already installed. Right. My god, it's taking a lot of time. Uh, uh, okay. Let's see if I didn't mess. Okay. Um, I hope I don't. Let's just trust. Task app it's empty now, so we can delete that. Let's say ng add angular material and upload client. So here on the packages, yeah, Angular material, I want that. Come on. I want the cyan orange. Yeah, no, I don't want them. So come on, continue install. Cannot find model. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, probably I messed up because of moving all of the things. Oh my god. Uh, I will delete all of this. Yeah, all of them, and I will do that again. I'm sorry. I I rushed. Yeah, I want that SAS. No, and now you need to do those things again. It took so much. I'm sorry. Come on. I mean, like you're taking too much time. It it's quite heavy, the five icon, and we don't care that much about it. Okay, it looks like we already have that. So this should give us an error. Okay, that's perfect. So I'll move this, all of them, to the root, which is frontend. I can delete then task app. Now I can now add Angular material. Yes, I want Angular material. That's what I asking for it. And the cyan orange, no. And let's see if now it works. Okay, packages installed successfully. Yeah, amazing. Also, I need to add ng add Polo Angular. Yes, I want Polo Angular. And the server will be localhost. So let me copy from here. Actually, we can close Postman now. The URL will be localhost. Yes, this is the version that I want. I faced this issue yesterday, and if I remember well how I solved it, it was just saying leave. Yes, next, and that's it, I think. So let's do the add Apollo Angular again. Yep, yeah, that's how this worked. And now, one thing that I remember that was wrong, it's that in the configuration, the app config, no, um, app config here. The app config was missing the endpoint, so we need to change it manually. What else? Oh, these are the same, so I'm guessing no problem of not having one of these. Well, I will leave it this as it is. Well, no, actually, I do think we shouldn't have this provider client, provider Apollo, cache in memory. Yeah, the providers list. I should correct it here. And the provider Apollo. Okay, perfect. Then I need to do an ng generate service of tasks. These task service, I need to fill them with information. I'm going to copy the example that we had before for the front with this source app countries. So I need to. Oh no! Oh my god! I need to. Yeah, in the config here, tasks service. This is the one I need to modify. So I'm going to copy all these imports. The injectable it's repeated, so we don't need that twice. Here the tasks, const tasks, and GQL. And in this case, I'm going to open and say tasks. This is just the full list of what we're trying to get. So the full list of tasks should include the not the ID, well, yeah, the ID, the title, the description, and if it's completed, let's add all information that we have. Yes, of course. So one more thing, and we close that. And finally, we can close this. Then the provider in root, the task service, should construct about a private Apollo, and this contains Apollo. Inside the constructor, okay, there's nothing inside the constructor. And oh, and here we have a function that's get tasks with an observable of any, and will return this Apollo watch query any. That's great. Now let's just get no add a task. Perfect. This should receive a title and a description. It should have also the observable any. And for this, we're going to return this Apollo mutate, the mutation. Okay, yeah, let's change this to query query list or get all task. This is going to be another const mutation create a task. Um, mutation create task. The variables are the title and the description. We pass that title and description as variables here. We add the task with those variables, and I want to return just not the full, uh, but the ID and well the metadata. And well, this should be good enough for that. I'm also adding a const mutation of the task. The date task mutation should have the ID, the title, the description, all as required, except these and these are not required, and the completed. Um This what does, it's a function called update task. Let's just compare here if that's exactly. Oh no, I closed that. In the backend, where we call the resolvers, create task, update task, delete task. Okay, this is add task. So probably this should be changed to create task. This also is create task. The query, well, the query doesn't matter. Get tasks. Well, I'm not sure. That's interesting. Well, it doesn't matter. Um, we'll inspect that in a second. So of the task, it calls the function of the mutation, the resolver update task with the ID. It has the ID. It needs to be passed. The title, it's string optional, complete string optional, and same. I just want to return not all of the things, but just the ID, the title, the description, and if it's completed, the updated information. And finally, the mutation, delete task, we just pass the ID. That's perfect. For the get task, Apollo has a query. What's the difference between query and watch query? That's interesting. Uh, let's just do a query for the moment. The query is get all task query, and that will be what this is. Well, actually, I think what this does, and I like it, so I'm going to keep it as it is. Um, I'm going to change this to create create task limited variables. I'm going to do another that's update task and the delete task, of course, with all the respective schemas, optionals, required, requires. Perfect. So the service is great. Now let's just create the ng generate component, and this is going to be tasks. So we have the tasks component here. We need to import it on our app tasks component. Now in the what? Why is an error here? Okay, it doesn't matter. We will close this. And here, all these tiles, all what's inside main, we don't care for it. Because here we just want our app tasks component, and that is app tasks or task, yeah, tasks. Perfect. So we can close the app component, yes, this also, and inside our task components, the provider should give us the the services, right? So let me refresh my mind here. Yeah, in the imports service. Oh, we just call the service and pass it as the constructor. So country service, we don't want them anymore. Let's just open the task component, and in task component, we want to import from services task dot service. And what do we want? It's all of them. Task service. What else do we want? The observable. And about material, we will check. For the moment, we just want this. In the task component, when we start, the constructor will give us the task service, the data source. Right now, that's what we want with ng on init void, talking about the data source. And we will see all the tasks that we want. Yeah, that's perfect. And that's it. So now let's focus on creating a beautiful interface for this in a couple of seconds. Angular material, UI material. Let's take a look to the components if they have something about tasks. What could fit better? Yeah, I think I think the table will do. So let me ask help Copilot. Using Angular material and with what you know or tasks have, create a beautiful front, a beautiful UI for this play, displaying the tasks and um, form at the top to create new tasks. Each task should have a done button. It can be. I like the idea of having a slide toggle and a cross to delete them. Do it. Task container form to create a new task form, and just embed add task, add task. Okay, now add necessary changes in the TS to make that work as the material imports and functions you created. Okay, let's keep up with that. Let's keep with this. Um, we can delete the observable, I think. We have an error here on the create task. Why is that? Expected two arguments, but got one. Okay, this new task, and okay, we need to destructure this title const. Well, no, actually, we can do that here. The title, and then this the description. Perfect. Delete task tool to complete. This is going to pass the task ID and a completed task completed. Let me take a look to the service. Update task completed. Yeah, because ID completed. Cannot find name ID. Update task ID completed. In order to do this should be named. Oh my god. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. Well, I'm curious now. Well, oh, okay. the update task function, actually, I don't want them to have the ability right now to do this. So I can do this here, change this deletion. The variables of the update task will be just these ones, and the update task saying I'm not passing anything but completed. That's great. So now I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Task carries get tasks, subscribe, get data tasks. Okay, okay, this should work now. Um, ng serve, and let's see. Else, we need to make some few corrections about importing these, but I'm not sure about that. Okay, we have some problems. Let's inspect what problems we have. Task component it's not used within the template. Blah blah blah. The ng4 directive was used in the template, but neither the ng what the ng4 directive uh, here for okay um, here ng4 directive was used in the template, but neither the nor the common model was imported. Okay, common model or include in the component imports. Imports. Okay, common model. Great. Let's keep taking a look. Alt test is not a known element. How cannot find named document. Do you? Oh, yeah. That happened also yesterday. What I need to do is add here the doc. Okay, thanks. What else? Not from field. It's not a known element. Yes, let's do that also. Well, let me remember. Form field, form API. Yeah, module. What others? What others? Mat label. So labels, labels. What? It's not here, so why don't look for it? Selector mat label. Oh, I think with that mat card API card model. What others? Slide toggle, slide slide toggle. Here, API, copy, paste here. And include that in the model. Well, not model, uh, standalone component. Cannot find name console. Do you need change the target library? Source main router. Okay. Let's see if that fixes many of these errors. Many serves. Okay. At least they were reduced. I think. Yeah, there were few less. So task component is not used within the template. Tasks component. So we are exporting this tasks component, right? Export class task component. In the app, we import it. Okay. App tasks. It's not a known element. Here, you know what? Same happened yesterday. Let me see how I fixed it. App component. Yeah, the countries component. Yeah, it should be like that. Just it. Task component, uproot. Yeah, yeah. It's probably a matter of resolving the other issues. Um, can't bind to ng model since it's not a known property of input. That's on the task HTML. Number 6, mat input ng model new task dot title name title. Can't bind to ng models is it's not known property. Oh yeah, because we are using material input, so probably material components form field expansion panels complete batch button blah 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 blah. Not input. So what else? Not input. Can bind. Okay, let's ask a pilot for this. Forms model, it's not imported. Angular forms. Import forms. Model Angular forms. Okay, let's see if that resolves this. And mat icon, yeah. Import mat icon. I didn't find it. Icon API. What else? Mat icon. Gmodel still up task. It's not I don't know the element. Okay, let's try it one more time. Come on, we're almost missing time here. Whew, just this. App ask. Yeah, it looks like this is the only one failing at the moment. So what we can do, what I did yesterday, actually, I had this same problem. Come on, come on. Think, think. The service, it's okay. I think I can close it. I have component. I already added here. So what's missing in the configuration? I think we make appropriate corrections. You just config, nothing more else to add. Um, what was then? What was then? Let's check it. Copilot, come on. There is no add model, so there is no app model, but it in the imports list of the app component. Style URL. It has the same. Like why one works and the other doesn't. Um, if the task components list blah blah blah, it means the application is using standalone. But how to fix the issue? Sure, task components it's marked as standalone true. Uh, why would I do that? In its component, okay. Oh, select template URLs, styles, URLs, imports. Verify that required models, blah blah blah, are imported in the imports array of yes, yes to all of these. Yes. Okay, if app task is in Angular component, then verify it's included if the component imports of this component. If add as it's a web component, then add a custom element schema. No. Just final look to the TS config and the other TS config. Compiler save. We have 21 lines, 21 lines this part, allowed synthetic, and finally 31 lines, 31 lines. Yeah, so that's not it. Trying to run that again. I see no. Yes, doesn't know what exactly is happening here. Occurs in template, watch mode, blah blah blah. If it's an Angular component and verify it's included in component imports of this component. Uh, yes, I can that manually that again. Task component. Uh, task component. Standalone true. Stand alone true. Any changes in that? Mat button model. Mat card model. I'm missing the button model API. I don't know for a reason. Maybe does this help? Task component, mat from field, mat card. I have the card. I have the slides, mat icon, mat icon button. I have the button. Yeah. What more am missing? Cards. I have the card. What am I missing? Come on. Oh, I mean, we're almost out of time here, so just let me check very quickly. Oh no, this is closing ceremony happening right now. So thanks a lot for joining. I'll finish the errors, and it's just a matter of um, not taking the configuration right at the moment. So thank you so much for joining, and it was a pleasure to be here. I'll be pushing the code once the error is fixed. And remember, we just were missing these, but we created the GraphQL server. So I think that's what we tried to achieve here, right? So thank you so much and enjoy the closing ceremony. See you.